Wheeler's Weekend Jams, live and direct. Ladies and gentlemen, Wheeler's Weekend Jams, live and direct. And what John C. Reilly says to Will Ferrell and Step Brothers, you have a voice like Fergie and Jesus. Well, I have the Fergie and Jesus here next to me. Mr. Marcus Harrington of Relative Ash. Dude, thank you so much for doing this interview, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. You guys, Relative Ash just performed their first live show in over a decade at Ville-A-Palooza.
Yes.
Tell us how that was all set up and what was the idea of you guys just coming back to do a reunion show?
Well, it started like a year earlier. We were supposed to do the show. And, you know, it's been well over a decade since we've done anything. And, you know, people's lives, jobs, you know, everyone has kids for the most part, except for a drummer. And we just couldn't get on the same page. Everyone was doing different things with their lives, starting new chapters in their lives, so it was hard for everyone to get on the same page with that. So that's why it didn't happen the first time, and then it came around this time for Ville-A-Palooza, and they asked us, and everyone said, let's do it. So it's simple, basically.
Yeah. Take us back to 2000. You guys came out with your album, Our Time With You. Tell us how that all came together, the recording process behind that album, and also just signing on to Island Records and all that. How was that entire experience?
Well, we were doing well in the scene on our own. I mean, we were just playing everywhere. I mean, relentless, like anywhere we could play. You know, putting on our own demos, of course, through Johnny K. Groove Master Productions, who was a huge help in like catapulting us into onto the next level. And Columbia Records came out of the woodwork. They were the first ones. Victory Records. So everything started kind of snowballing to the point to where we got into the Metro, which was key. You know, I mean, I think that's the best. To me personally, I played everywhere across the United States, and I think the Metro is the best venue for a live show that I've ever.
CBGBs too?
Oh, CBs. I mean, the atmosphere, and you know, I mean, you have to walk past the crowd to get to the pisser. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot. That's hands on. You know what I mean? The people are right here. I mean, yeah. But as far as sound, everything else, the atmosphere of the Metro is hands down slamming. But so, anyways, getting into that, we got into that club. That started the vibe, that started the whole buzz, and next thing you know, we were on the X Games tour. You know, we won, I guess, I don't want to use that word won, but we did a ASCAP stage for Warped Tour, and we ended up playing with Deftones, No Effects, and we played that one day, and it was just insane. And then it went on from there again, you know, as far as the buzz, and went to Longview Farm, Massachusetts, and recorded Our Time With You on the label Island Def Jam. You know, they were ultimately the ones we signed with, and the rest is history, I guess, till now.
This is raw emotion. This is raw emotion. Team up and bouncing with me. This is raw emotion. Team up and bouncing with me. This is raw emotion. This is raw emotion. Team up and bouncing with me. Here we go. Team up and bouncing with me. Here we go. Together is more. We fucking
Lyrically, you have tons of emotion with Relative Ash. you know, you have some negative and positive aspects. I think that goes together. You actually said, I want every word to sing to have some thought behind it, just like Kurt Cobain did. Tell us more about your lyrics.
Well, I was a young man at the time, you know, and a lot of people say, well, yeah, you're young, you can be angry, and you know, when you're young, that's the only time you can be angry, which is a bunch of bullshit because I'm madder than ever right now. But I went through some personal experiences, you know, lost some people just like everyone else, you know. But that was my tool, was the pen and paper and music to get that out. And yes, the words to me are, I mean, just last night I got back from getting back some new music, and was in my bed with headphones on until 3 in the morning writing, you know, in my underwear and shit, basically. But just writing lyrics, and lyrics are very powerful. I mean, you get that. Look at John Lennon. John Lennon was he used it like a weapon, you know, against everything. Like, I mean, the times and the things that were happening at that time. I mean, that's how powerful words are. Like, you know, I had a vicious blow to the heart, I guess you could say, when I was younger. So the words to this day, they mean the world to me. And through Relative Ash, they were vulgar. You know, the parental advisory sticker right on the cover, which that's my biggest accomplishment for me. You know, especially on a label like Island Def Jam. For that to be on there means I did my job with the pen and paper and behind the mic. So yes, the words are they're awesome.
Your entire album, Our Time With You, is just such a classic, and I was more with the lyrics. I was wondering, what's the story behind 6 Miles to Learn?
Well, I'm sure you heard about this, but you know, my father passed away from AIDS, and it was '94. So I was still trying to, you know, take all that in, you know, to this day, you know. But then it was like having a million pieces in my head every night and trying to put it all together, and then it would shatter again. You know what I mean? Every day, every night.
Yeah.
But him passing, 6 Miles to Learn, I used to do the AIDS walk in Chicago. I used to raise money, and I'd do it every year. And I'd walk him a little over 6 miles to walk. So 6 Miles to Learn, I remember walking in it, and I was actually writing the lyrics for it, like, as I was walking. Like, you know, I had a pen and paper, and I pulled out my backpack, write it down about the walk while it was happening. And, you know, the line where it says, you know, it took a walk to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 6 Miles to Learn is about that, like, you know, that whole experience I had with that. And, you know, it could be the toughest 6 miles, it could be the easiest 6 miles, but for me it was the most educational 6 miles. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what that song is all about. You know, Why Are You Scared of Me is something that, you know, my dad said to me one time. You know, are you scared? You know, I took a bite off his sandwich, drank his drink, and I said, no, I'm not scared of you. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what that song is all about. It's about him.
Yeah. Wow.
And anyone else who suffered through that, and family members and that went through an ordeal with them. So that's for them.
I know this is kind of a typical question, but I was just wondering, where did the name Relative Ash come from?
I was just talking about that the other day with Carlos. I was in a band beforehand, my first band. We were called Circus Peanuts, and a 3-piece band. But you know, we parted ways, and I ran into Johnny and Carlos at a studio on 35th Street Studios. I had a lot to drink, and they, hey Mark, come in here, man. There's this young kid drumming, and his brother on guitar, and we're doing Smashing Pumpkin songs. And I love the Pumpkins, so they're like, hey, this dude can sing Pumpkins, and they brought me in a room, and I was singing Bullet with Butterfly Wings. But I remember like slices of it because I was wasted. But I went home a couple weeks after. I kept running into this guy Carlos, Guitar Center, you know, restaurants, crazy places. And start a band. You know, I know you're not in the band anymore. I was like, all right, cool. So I was sitting in my room, and I made a flyer at work. I went into the office and made copies of this fetus. You know, but just it was, you know, like a square in the middle of the paper with two blocks of white on each side. I took a fucking Sharpie and wrote Relative Ash on each side. And I walked in to my cousin's studio, which was Myron. You see Myron play the other day, I think, at the Ville-A-Palooza. My cousin's band.
Yeah.
Okay. Singer JP's my cousin.
Okay.
Junior was in that band. I remember walking down, there was a stack of these flyers of Relative Ash. I said, what the fuck is that? This is my new band. He's like, who's in it? I was like, nobody. Just me right now. He's like, what the fuck? So I started handing them out, and yeah, the name just like, I mean, it has meaning behind it, but it's weird to this day, like, how it happened. I just fucking wrote it down. It wasn't, it had thought behind it, but literally, it just fucking popped out of nowhere.
It just happened.
Yeah, all our, passed down relatives, I don't want to get too fucking corny with it. But.
Yeah. No, it's a great name.
Passes on, holds their soul on. Their love, passion, strength, and sensitivity. Where will they rest? We all want to think that these emotions shine out at the birth of our son or daughter. But sometimes one must suffer great loss and truly miss. Questions kill the romance. So just remember how beautiful that person is the last time you held them. And live knowing now that they are all Relative Ash. Relative Ash.
And you're in a new band now.
Yes.
Black Rhino. Tell us a little bit about that.
Black Rhino. Mike Tate from Red River?
Yeah.
Shades of Fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He, me and him talked back and forth for a while. We always wanted to do something together, but we'd be drinking and wouldn't talk again for a while, We're friends forever,
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, through the scene and all that. And one night he was coming in, because Sunset Empire, the band I was previously in, we were doing the benefit show for Bob Billars, his wife, V, and Jeremy Musica. He was our bass player for Sunset, and they were in that tragic fatal boat accident.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that.
They all passed away. And Billy Kay from No One and the guys wanted to put together a benefit show at Bourbon Street. And Carlos from RA, my boy, Flair and all them guys got together and had other guitar players come in to fill in for Bob, and it was just beautiful things that Billy Kay put together. And Mike Tate asked me, because he's friends with Jeremy too, hey, could I get on one of the songs, Under the Chicago Sun by Sunset Empire? I was like, yeah. So as we were driving back from the first rehearsal, he's like, check this fucking music out that I got. Put it in, and I was, once again had a few drinks in me. And he started singing over it, because he didn't have any vocals on it yet. And that's how that started. And then I went to his house, and it was just me and him, audition drummers, keyboard player and bass player. We have the bass player Q from Mindsight, who's in the band Mindsight. We have Stevie's on keys, and the former the drummer from Soul Pollution and Sunset Empire is now in Black Rhino.
Okay.
So there's history between all the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, we played our first couple of shows recently. We played Debonair Club the other night, and yeah, man, we're really excited about it. Love the name, I hate politics, I hate religion, but Black Rhino says something.
Nice.
Actually, it reminds me of one of those sex pills that you see at the store, like a gas station.
Yeah, by the gum.
Night Rider, and if you're feeling a little weak tonight, take some Black Rhino. But Yeah, we're going to the studio September 25th through 26th at the Nook, and we're just gonna launch off after that.
Great.
I'm also in a project though called the Bottle Squad. It's just relentless thrash. I mean metal. Yeah, you know, like a big fuck you.
Yeah.
Too. And you'll be hearing about that too. So
Cool.
Those are my two main things that I'm doing right now. I'm really in love with. So.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I'm a huge movie buff, and actually I saw on Facebook you posted an old Twilight Zone episode last night, and that's like one of my favorites when the guy breaks his glasses and can't read any of the books in the world. But I ask every band this question, but if you had to compare Relative Ash to a movie, what movie would it be and why?
Wow.
That's right. You have to think about it, but that's what I do.
I would say I've been on this kick lately. I've been on this True Romance kick, and True Romance is, I mean, that movie's everything. It's love, I mean, murder, you know, sex, fucking drugs, rock and roll. I mean, you know, they speak about Elvis in the first, you know.
Val Kilmer, who you can't see.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that movie right now, just for me personally, you know, that's a vicious movie, man. And you know, it has everything.
The Christopher Walken scene with
Sicilian scene.
Oh my God, that's probably one of the best scenes ever in movie history.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
He knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
So he just spilled his guts and was honest, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Great answer. True Romance. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you have you got an upcoming show with Relative Ash, August 29th at the Bottom Lounge with Red River.
Yes.
If there's anything you want to tell the fans out there, and also where to find you and all that stuff.
To everybody for sticking with us for so long. I mean, you know, the whole thing of being a flash in the pan does not exist with Relative Ash. It never will. I mean, and that is proof at the Ville-A-Palooza show. I mean, I can't remember the last time I seen people jumping off a stage at a local show, let alone, you know, in the middle of a baseball field, you know.
Yeah.
And for sticking with us, thank you so much. I mean, I'm at a loss for fucking words. I mean, there's people from Chile, you know, Paris. I mean, I can go on and on, but I get messages from these people, you know, almost every night, and that's humbling experience. I mean, and I just want to say thanks. And if we decide to do more shows, you will hear about it. You know, I don't like the you know, excuse me, but I hate the word. No offense, the reunion thing. We're back together. We're playing. You know what I mean? And if we stop again for a while, fuck it. But if we get back up again, it's not reunion. No, man,
yeah,
playing the fucking show. But I mean, you can always reach out to us, and you know, fucking Facebook and everything else. But, yeah, I mean, the blessing is, you know, I mean, the big lesson was, you know, asked me the question in the beginning about how this all come to be. Actually, I didn't answer that right. We're all still alive. You know, you look what happened with no one. You know, Bob, I mean, that's tragic. You know, Jeremy, you know, and Bob's wife. But the two musicians, you know, that are not going to, you can't ever do that again the same way. If one of us were to pass away, it'll never be the same.
Yeah. So
we had a chance to do that now. That's my biggest reason for doing it. You know, and I'm sure the guys feel the same way, but for me, that's it. You know, I mean, it's not about, you know, we're not getting paid. We didn't charge anything for that benefit show. We just fucking first show and we played 18 song set and we did it for nothing.
Yeah.
But then again, we did it because we knew we had to do it. You know, we wanted to do it. And the fans were insane. I mean, fucking insane.
Guys didn't miss a beat, man.
Yeah, I fucking chipped my tooth and everything. And once again, it's like an old flashback from fucking. I mean, it was insane, literally. There's times where I just threw the mic into the crowd and said, "Keep it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until it got thrown back to me, and that's what it's all about, you know. So thank you to everyone who's stuck with us, you know. Blue collar motherfuckers still jamming and doing what they love to do.
Yeah.
And that was evident then. And on the 29th, come with Red River in the streets. We're going to fucking blow that place up.
Hell yeah.
Because if it is the last one, I'm not saying it is, but if it is, then you won't forget it. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Wheelers Weekend Jams live and direct. Remember to go to WheelersWeekendJams.com and check out our new Patreon page at patreon.com/WWJ.